Welcome to the Crimson Engine. My name is 𝙍𝙁𝙄𝙄𝙀. Today we're going to talk about color grading Canon cinema footage in 2021 and how there is no excuse not to have awesome looking footage pretty much either straight out of the camera or with the click of a button. Because in this day and age, the cameras shoot such a wide dynamic range. There are so many great LUTs available, which we'll talk about, and there is so much power in almost every grading platform, be it Final Cut Pro, DaVinci Resolve, or Premiere Pro, that you can, with the click of a button, get awesome looking footage. I'm going to keep this video somewhat platform agnostic, and I'm actually going to do the grading while I talk, so you can actually see how it changes the image. I'm not going to be grading crazy footage from my feature film of like car chases or explosions or gunfights. I'm just going to grade this image that we're looking at here. Me in my studio, lit by a 4-foot octobox, a small tube light here for the eye light, and then a backlight and a 3/4 key. So a 4-light setup. Now the thing that trips most people up about using lookup tables or LUTs is that they're not sure what to expose at and not sure what the color balance is, because a LUT looks at your image and usually it makes changes to the colors and the brightness of the image based on what you're feeding it. So let's say the cinematic separation LUT that I have, and all these LUTs are available in the link below on Gumroad. It looks at darker images of the darker parts of the image and cools them down, and it preserves the skin tones and warms them up and then fixes difficulties in the skin. So it shifts yellow to orange and red to orange, so you even out the imperfections in your skin, if you like. But let's go back to the original image. This is the 𝙎𝙐𝙬𝙄, and I've exposed it at 5100 Kelvin. The camera's set to 5100, the lights are all 5100, and I am exposing one stop above the light meter reading. So light meter reading says at ISO 500, f2.8. I have the camera or the lens set to f2. So it's going to give me a little bit more brightness in the skin. It's going to be a little bit more exposure on the image. And it's probably a good idea to do this with your images on the Canon 𝙎𝙬𝙄, 𝙎𝙬𝙗. It just keeps the darker part of my skin and the darker part of the image, see things down here, out of that grainy area. So if you were exposing this on a waveform or a histogram, the peak of my skin is around 55. The next thing I'm going to do is create 4 nodes. This is going to allow me to have control of the image before the LUT is applied. And I'm going to apply my LUT to the last node. This is if you're using DaVinci Resolve. If you're using Lumetri, you'll have to go about it a slightly different way. Applying the LUT at the end means that I'm able to balance the information before it gets to the LUT. So I'm able to, fix exposure problems or color balance problems before the LUT does what it does to the image. But again, it's going to look at your skin, it's going to expect it at that one overstop, and it's going to then do nice things to it. I have a bunch of new LUTs. They're similar to the old ones, but I've renamed them something a little less Greek mythology. I have cinematic separation, I have Fujifilm and a Kodak LUT. Then we have bleach bypass, the Matrix, Mexico, cross process, and a blockbuster LUT, if you're into that big Michael Bay over the top look. I also included in all the LUT packs is a Rec 709 conversion, which will get you from your 𝙎𝙬𝙄 to a decent looking image if you want to play with the colors yourself. Now another thing that's great to do in addition to LUTs is some foreground background separation. So what I'm going to do is put a circle around my face. I'm going to diffuse it all the way. Then I'm going to create an alpha output on my node graph. I'm going to link these two. And I'm going to go and invert the second node. So now I have something that's just my face and something that's just the background. What I'm going to do is turn up my face very, very slightly, a couple of points in the midtones. But in the background, what I'm going to do is decrease the contrast and then drop everything. So now you see there's even more separation, and the LUT has even more to play with by separating foreground and background. This draws the person's eye straight to your character and almost makes it look like you lit it this way. I go over all these steps in much more detail in the respective masterclasses. I actually have an entire separate class just on DaVinci Resolve where we cover this stuff on canonmasterclass.com, and you're able to get all of these LUTs at the link below, and they're specific to the camera. So I have an R5, R6 LUT, one set of LUTs for the R5 𝙍𝙐𝙬𝙄 RAW, and another set of LUTs, the same LUTs, but recalibrated for the 𝙍-Log3 in the H.265. Then I have LUTs, these same LUTs for the 𝙍-Log3 and 2 of the C200 and for the C70. Now the C70 has a really cool trick because they don't let you load LUTs into the camera as a viewing platform, but they let you load a look file, and this means that you can actually shoot with these LUTs applied, meaning that when you open your footage in your editor, the LUTs will already be burnt in or applied to your footage. And I use this all the time. I've basically stopped grading my footage for these YouTube videos, well, except this one, because I'm shooting graded footage, which looks amazing and saves me a whole step of outputting. In fact, I'm not even saving the files. I'm basically editing them off the card, outputting them, uploading them to YouTube, and then clearing the card. So it means I don't have to deal with any of that storage, any of that data. This is also really great if you have clients on set and you want to light to the LUT that you're using. All of these LUTs work as look files into the C70. You just need to choose the right gamma curve, either 𝙍-Log2 or 𝙍-Log3, when you load them in, or they'll be too contrasty or not contrasty enough. Hopefully that helps people out there. LUTs can be super confusing. I totally get it. Almost everyone here, including myself, has bought LUTs, applied them to the footage and been like, this looks terrible, looks nothing like the LUT was advertised. But I promise you, if you do it this way, if you overexpose your skin tone or your subject one stop brighter than your light meter says, or you put your skin tone, if you're using a waveform, at that 55 to 60, the bright part of your skin tone at 55 to 60, and apply these LUTs, and you may have to slide the color temperature back and forth to get the separation right, but if you do those steps, you will get footage looking just like this. Thank you very much for watching. Links are in the description. I will see you next time.